My name is Chen Porat and I'm the CEO of Endobetix. As Omer mentioned, we are basically developing a minimal invasive solution for the treatment of type 2 diabetes. If you look at this number on the wall, I think it's quite an amazing number and certainly very worrying. 350 million people. Well, give or take, nobody knows the exact number, but that's give or take the number of patients suffering from type 2 diabetes in the world. It's a phenomenal number, and it's growing. So if you look at that number, you can imagine that it's responsible for quite a lot of complications, and eventually 4 million deaths a year. Today, diabetes is considered to be a world epidemic. When one has diabetes, patients of diabetes, there are normally two types of solutions available. One solution is drugs. You start with a simple drug, end up with insulin injection, and on the other side you have bariatric surgery. Bariatric surgery, because we know today that bariatric surgery can actually resolve diabetes. There has been, over the last several years, we've had some major meta-analysis that show that bariatric surgery over 25 years does a great job in resolving diabetes. But bariatric surgery, as its name, is surgery. It's risky, it's invasive, and it's expensive. And it's not suitable for all patients. If you take the US as an example today, you can only be reimbursed if your BMI is 35 and above, which means you're what we call super obese. So if you're below that range, you're not eligible for bariatric surgery. So if we look at the numbers, there are only roughly 500,000 surgeries, bariatric surgery done in the world today. So as you can see, surgery covers a very minor part of the market. At Endobetix, we're trying to solve this unmet need by providing a minimal invasive solution that follows the lines of bariatric surgery. The implant, you can see the picture here behind me, is placed endoscopically in the small intestine. What it does is it separates between the partly digested food and the bile secretion. It takes the bile secretion in a small tube and diverts them to a lower part of the small intestine. This diversion, just the mere diversion of the fluids, creates a hormonal impact that ends up with resolution of type 2 diabetes. So we've conducted a relatively large number of pig studies to date, over 20 acute and chronic pig studies. We show the safety and the efficacy of the device. We've shared the device with a lot of leading experts around the world, bariatric experts, GI experts, and we got very good response. As you can imagine, the market is huge. It's hard to estimate the exact numbers, but certainly in the range of several billion dollars. We see all sorts of companies trying to enter this market. Most of them are small startup companies, but also big companies are trying to enter this market as well. Endobetix, we have 3 patents, 1 already a granted patent, 2 are still in the process, still pending. The company is managed by a very experienced managerial team, and we're very pleased to say that recently Yuval Yanai has joined our team as chairman of the board. Yuval brings a lot of experience with him, and he was formerly the CFO of Given Imaging, which was sold to Covidian. The company is backed by a world-class scientific advisory board. We have doctors from Israel, from Europe, and some of the leading centers in the US, from Harvard Medical School, from Cleveland Clinic. Thank you, and I'm ready for questions.
From a FDA viewpoint, treating obesity is a big thing, but a lot of companies shy away from it because of the difficulty in making those types of claims. Do you see any issue there, and I assume your patents cover both areas, the type 2 and obesity.
Okay. Well, first of all, and I think we mentioned this, our focus is diabetes and not obesity. We know the complications with the FDA. With obesity, the FDA is looking for at least 25% reduction over a period of several years. As far as we know, there's not a single product out there in the market that actually is able to do it, which is not surgery. I'm talking about minimally invasive. So we're actually a bit shying away from obesity, and we're focusing on type 2 diabetes. We think it's definitely easier to achieve in diabetes than it is in obesity. In terms of IP, we have 3 patents, cover anything from the device and method, depending on, it's more suitable for the US, and Europe it's more of a device type of patents, and it's around the design of the device and so on.